What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. No, I did not go out and get a tattoo today, but I do have a tattoo. I got it back in June, right before my birthday, with one of my friends, Caitlin. Shout out to Kit Kat. A lot of people ask me, they're like, oh, you have a ship on your arm. What does that mean? What's the significance of that for you? It's honestly a really good conversation starter. However, I feel like when a stranger asks me what it means, I feel a little TMI, like I'm sharing a little too much with them. But anyways, yes, I do have a ship tattooed on my arm. It honestly, when I got it, so I got it in Berkeley at a place called Zebra Tattoos, and when he first drew it out, it wasn't what I thought that I wanted. I was looking at pictures of super elegant looking ships, and what he had drawn up was a little bit more cartoony, so he added a few things to make it more, you know, elegant, less cartoon looking. So yeah, I go ahead and get the tattoo done, and honestly, I couldn't have loved it more. Everybody loves my tattoo, everybody comments on my tattoo. I'm happy with it, I'm happy with how it turned out. So yeah, so what the meaning of the tattoo is for me is, in life, I've always been sort of a loner, and I like to say a loner by choice. There were times in my life where I did enjoy having lots of different friends around me, a quantity of friends. It's like if I spend 40 hours a week at work, and I spend 20 hours a week hanging out with friends. Where is that 20 hours a week getting me? Where are those friends getting me? And if it's just about drinking or partying, then that's really getting you nowhere. If anything, it's holding you back. So I decided to kind of cut down my friend load so that I could spend that time not hanging out with quantity friends, but cut it down to only hanging out with quality friends and giving all that time that I used to hang out with quantity friends to going, I went back to school, and even resting up, or even focusing more on just me and taking care of myself. So anyways, to me, when I think of a ship, I think of some big, mysterious, beautiful, crafted thing, right? So the ship is supposed to be me, and a ship is very unique. It's, you know, crafted. It's just a mysterious object. So, and I always think of ships out in the middle of the ocean by themselves, and sometimes the water isn't always calm. I think of ships out in stormy weather, you know, getting tossed and turned by waves. It's dark out there, and so that kind of represents me, and just sort of like the dark times that we, you know, go through in our lives where we are alone. I'm not in that season right now, but I find myself in that season a lot. I'm sure I'm not the only one who feels that way. We're in a generation where a lot of people feel lonely amongst all the technology and social media that we have. A lot of people do feel lonely. And so, yeah, that tattoo just kind of, okay, so the first part of that tattoo just kind of represents my loneliness, maybe some of the darker times in my life, and me just kind of being a loner by choice, which the funny thing is, as I've mentioned, I wasn't always like that though. I went through a journey in life where I chose to be that way. And to me, that's beautiful. So that's what this ship kind of represents. It's this dark, lonely, almost sad thing, but yet a ship is so beautiful. And also the second part to this, there's three parts of my tattoo. The second part is this term called ballast. I've always just loved ships. I love the water, I love being above the water, not necessarily in the water all the time, especially in the ocean, unless it's super warm, but I've always loved ships. But I was like reading about it because I was looking for a good tattoo to get. And when I was reading about it, there was this term called ballast. So say like a ship is empty and it's going through really choppy waves, like it's going through a storm, right? That ship is a lot more likely to sink than a ship that is weighed down by a cargo. So ballast is the term that the more cargo a ship has, the more likely, the more stable it is to get through a storm. So this tattoo, in its second part of its meaning, is to be grateful for all the weight that you have, everything that you've been through that's added baggage to you. baggage has this negative connotation, but I have learned to say thank you, God, for the baggage that I have. I would not be the person I am today without the mistakes that I've made, the lessons I've learned. I would not be who I am today, and I'm grateful for that. So the second part of this tattoo is a reminder to be grateful in hard times, not to look at them as bad things, not to look at problems or hardships as bad things, but to thank God for what you're going through, because there's a bigger picture. You're gonna get through it, and you're gonna be a stronger person and a better person because you learned something. You know, you could never improve, you can never become a better person if you don't grow. And the only way you can grow is to go through hard things. If you just go through easy things all the time, your character never grows, your understanding, your wisdom never grows. But if you go through hard things, then you have the opportunity to grow, and it's all about perspective, because that's a blessing. So the third section of my tattoos meaning is the ship being lost at sea, right? So it's all kind of this picture of being lost at sea. It also represents me because I've had a very spiritual background growing up. I have always identified or really love the idea of lost at sea, because I feel like no matter what, you could be going to church every week, or you could go to church once a year and still be lost. We're all just humans, or you know, we don't know everything. I love that term, lost at sea, because we really are all just lost at sea, and we're all just trying to figure it out. That was my thing, is because I was heavily involved in church, and then I kind of withdrew from church a lot, just because, I don't know, I like to experience life, and that's a whole different story for a whole nother day, and I will be very excited to do that video. But I used to be heavily involved in church, and I withdrew from that significantly, and I started living in a way that maybe, you know, the church maybe wouldn't have approved in, but I wouldn't trade it, because I am beautifully lost at sea. And you know, my name Danielle means God is my judge, and I love that that's the name, or the meaning of my name, because I've always been just a very different person, and I wouldn't change that. But I love the fact that my name means God is my judge, because I've done a lot of things that maybe people don't understand, and I know that I've been judged, but that doesn't matter to me, because I mean, what I do, my decisions I make, are between me and God, and that's all that matters. What people think of me, I've learned to not let that matter. I just care what I think of me. I care what the closest people around me think of me, and I care what God thinks of me. I digress. Yeah, the ship signifies me also in the fact that I'm lost at sea, and then there's the lighthouse, which always brings the ship back to shore, and God is obviously the lighthouse, and he's always directing your path back to the shore. And I don't know, I'm beautifully lost at sea. So yeah, that's the meaning of my tattoo. It's a very special tattoo to me. I remember when I first got it, I would kind of like tear up talking about it, and even since I've gotten it, I went through something that broke my heart a little bit. I thought of my tattoo, and it did remind me in that moment. It just reminds me to be grateful for the hard things that I go through, because they're just building blocks. They look ugly now, but they're to build a bigger picture. You know, it's like if you're painting something and you take a black paint, you know, it's like, oh, this isn't the most vibrant color or whatever, but you're taking this black paint and using it with other colors to make something beautiful. It's like maybe this color by itself isn't pretty, but all together, when you look at the big picture, it's beautiful. And so you have to appreciate every part of the picture, you know, and going through hard times is part of that picture, and I value and I cherish all my hard times, because it makes me closer to God, and it helps me to get to know myself better, which is something that's very valuable in this day and age, because a lot of people don't know who they are. I'm grateful to say that I do spend time to get to know myself and to love myself and appreciate who I am. I don't have it all, but I've learned to work with what I do have. It's done well for me, and it has made me a very happy individual no matter what circumstance I go through in life. So yeah, that's the meaning of my tattoo. I hope you enjoyed my video and my explanation. Don't forget to like my videos, please, and subscribe, because I am trying to build my channel right now, and I know you won't be disappointed. So thanks for watching.